Welcome back to another edition of Kozo's Coaching Corner, and today we're going to dive into swing playing and one of my favorite drills to expose the compensations and faults in your technique using the right arm only drill.
Now most people think about swing playing as the single line that goes through the club and out the other side of my body, sort of like Ben Hogan's pane of glass in his famous book. Now, not everybody has the ability to keep the club that shallow, so what I would encourage you to think about is that it's actually a cone. So we have that one line that goes through the shaft of the club that I'm hitting, and then another line that goes from the hosel of my club up through my shoulders. Now that cone is the cone of balance that we want to try to keep our hands and the club moving inside of. If we can find a way to keep the club head and the club balanced inside of this cone, the analogy I use all the time is imagine your car with a tire that has good balance. If it rolls end over end this way, there's not a lot of oscillation or correction to try to find that balance point down the center, and that's how your golf swing works. So if we have a swing plane that goes way underneath, it's going to want to try to find its way back over here so that by the time it comes back to the club, it oscillates and finds that center. Now, another thing that can get off balance is the club face. So if the club face rolls open, what happens is the toe feels heavy. And when my right arm senses that extra heavy, it's going to want to slingshot that thing back across. Now we have sort of this chicken wing motion as this heavy club gets recoiled back the other direction on the downswing. Then we're forced to do some kind of correction and impact. Now, if we can find a way to keep this club well balanced and on plane, the nice part is the golf club starts to do most of the work for us. We're going to start with both hands on the club in its natural position. Then we're going to take our left hand off and brace across our right elbow. This keeps my right elbow sort of close to my body. It helps me eliminate this disconnection and chicken wing move that I see a lot of folks do when they overswing. Now, the thing you want to avoid doing is gripping it at the end of the handle and swinging it from the end. Now, effectively, this club is too long. So we're going to start with a short iron like a pitching wedge, and we're going to start with short half swings, and we're going to build up as we get better at this. So we start with both hands on the club. Now we're going to take the left hand off. We can get my pinky and go right across the crease of my elbow. And now we want to feel rotation in our body, and we want to feel this club light in the backswing. What I love about having just one hand on the club is if I start going back behind this way, it's very obvious now that this club feels heavier than if I can keep it looking at the golf ball and in line with my swing plane. And we're going to really focus on the balance. So if we have good rhythm and good balance throughout the swing, we start to let this club collect and let go naturally. We want to rush our downswing. That is the worst thing we can do when we use this drill, because now we're going to jump and flip. As soon as our body stops rotating, this club is going to want to pass us. So if I was to set this club like the hinge on a door and spin around in a circle, this club would stay put until I stop moving. And the centrifugal force is what's actually going to cause this club to slingshot past me. Now, if we look at what that does in our golf swing, if I make a backswing and I stop, you can see how that makes my swing arc longer too early, and I have a tendency to bottom out early. Now, I wouldn't be doing this drill any justice if I didn't mention the mental component, that this is a very, very difficult drill. If you have trouble getting off of the ground with this drill, it's important that you continue trying to do it, because that is why we need to practice it. If we have trouble lunging at the top, if we're over swinging and we're winding up on this back foot, this drill is incredible to help you feel what it feels like to drop some of this tension out of our body and let rotation and centrifugal force do a lot of the work for us. Most people who try this drill are going to start off swinging hard from the top. They're going to stand up and the club's going to flip. You're going to top the ball, you're going to miss the ball, you're going to hit behind. Start on the low energy levels. Maybe you only need to chip this 20 or 30 yards at a time, and we're going to really be conscious that we want this handle leaning forward, and we want to lead with the body, and just let this club work through like we're hammering a nail. We don't want to hammer a nail with a tight arm from the top. We save a little bit of that slack, and we hammer that nail through and down instead of trying to scoop and lift. Now, if you found this drill helpful, please don't be shy. Hit the subscribe button, share with a friend, and until next time, I look forward to seeing you here at Kozo's Coaching Corner.